yeah, getting something on video that will be part of that package is
super special.
it's a big deal. It's really important to me.
People may have seen the shot, but it's a big skins match at Eagles Crossing, playing with some of the, I guess you say, younger players that are on tour, as well as some others. But just for a bit of context around what that shot was for you and like what it meant in terms of even just monetary value, because
It was the biggest skins match in disc golf history, and I was invited with Simon Lizotte, Calvin Heinberg, and Brody Smith, and then me.
People really wanted to see the Scott Brody matchup for some reason, didn't they?
I should say I don't understand it. I do understand it. It's fun. It's sports. People like they make up the storylines.
They make rivals against
like
each other.
look, it's from a marketing perspective. All that matters is that they're talking about you.
Yeah.
If they're talking about you, then you're in the spotlight. Then you're building your brand and you're selling seminars and online lessons and like when they're not talking about you, it's when you got to go,
for sure.
do you hang it up? So they invited me out. Actually, I'll tell you the funny story. It's a true story. So it's going to be the biggest skins match in disc golf history. It's a $20,000 skins match. That's going to seem so small in 20 years.
True, but I'd just like to touch on that. Like, when that happened, from where you started, was that just like mind blowing that this much money is now out there, or were you kind of like, this is where it was always headed?
Well, it's where it was always headed. We all knew. We thought it was going to happen quicker, but it was expected. And again, this the $20,000. Eventually will become commonplace, and then it'll become nothing.
Or the winner gets almost all.
But at the time, it's a $20,000 skins match. And Philip Samuels, the owner of the course, contacts me and says he wants me to be in this biggest skins match in disc golf history. And I actually turned him down at first because I had to get ready for a tournament. And I was like, what am I doing? I called him back. And again, this is a true story. After I talked to him, I told him, I said, I definitely want to play. He's like, cool, it'd be great to have you. And I said, by the way, who are the other 3 players? And he says, oh, we haven't talked about that yet. We just wanted to make sure we had you first.
There you go.
I said, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like that just was so flattering to me. He's like, but he wanted to get me first. And then so when I think some people might have been asking why I was even there, I suppose one of the 4 players, I was actually
the first.
I was the first player. I think it's because he's older. I have connected with an older audience in ways that I guess I could have predicted, but I hadn't thought about. Because I don't feel like an older person.
No, definitely not.
But I am an older person. I am an older human.
Guess in the comments without googling how old Scott Stokely. Be kind.
I'm older. So I have connected with this older audience, and I think that he's older, and I think that he connected with me the way a lot of my older audience has. It's been really amazing. Like I get messages like literally every day from players, older people who are like, even just telling me they're exercising or eating better now, or that they're following my story. I'm perfectly happy to represent my people.
and maybe making a difference beyond what you could have expected.
Sure. I love it.
So you get invited, the first person to this skin match, $20,000. I forget what hole it was on.
It was on hole 15.
15. And how much money was on the line at that point? How many skins?
Well, there was 8 skins, but there was a $9,700 bonus to whoever won the most skins. And because they had built up the 8 skins, the situation was such that whoever won the next hole was going to win the 8 or more skins, depending on the hole, and the bonus.
Lots on the line.
And you want me to walk through it?
Go through it. Talk us through it.
So we played a par 4. It was a par 4 that had never been birdied in tournament play ever. It was really, really hard, and you had to throw out into this field, and the entire right side of the fairway is just lined with trees. But you had to go all the way down, away from the camera. This side of the fairway is lined with thick trees. There's OB on this side. There's a narrow patch. You go all the way to the end of the hole, and then make like a 90-degree right turn. And that's why the hole never been birdied, because you throw a good shot out to the fairway, you throw your next shot, the only way to get to the hole is to go around wide, and then you're still probably not putting.
Yeah, long putt.
Yeah, I mean, at best you have a long putt, unless you're Simon Lazat who can throw a drive so far that he actually had a chance far enough to get a roll around the corner. But
yeah,
that's how you play the hole.
Yeah,
it's not a birdie hole. You don't play for birdie in tournaments
unless there's 8 skins on the line.
And so I threw a shot that landed. It was a good shot in the fairway, but it was off to the right. There was zero chance of getting to the hole through the fairway.
The normal way, yeah.
And Brody and Calvin are out of bounds, and Simon was in good position, but still a really hard shot for birdie. It was still a 1 in 5 chance of birdie or something for him after a perfect drive. And so when I got to my lie, and I was like, there's no way I'm playing this hole for par. This is something that I've learned in life, is that you don't get many opportunities. And when opportunities are in front of you, you have to attack them. And it does not matter if you fail. That's not even relevant. You can't control success or failure, but you can control whether or not you have the courage to jump on the opportunity and do what you can. So I decided that I was going to throw through the trees to the hole, which wasn't really a shot.
No gap, yeah.
I thought there was no gap. I walked around, I saw a gap, but it was like 375 foot hole, and the gap was like 2/3 of the way there. Was legit this big. Like it was a 4 foot wide gap that was about 300 feet in front of me, and I was like, I'm throwing through that gap, and if I miss the gap, I'm bogeying. I'm giving Simon the win with a par, and pissing off Calvin and Brody. For sure. But it's like I don't care. Like I'm not playing for par, hoping Simon doesn't birdie, and then hoping I birdie the next hole. It's like no, this was like that was the moment where I can I had a shot.
Yeah. Was it from a knee? Was it from on a knee?
So I got excited because I saw the shot, and then when I looked at it, I was like, I can't get there. Like if I stretch out all the way I could, but I needed to throw a shot that was rising. So, because I need to go around the corner with an anhyzer, and then it needed to fade, which meant I needed to have the nose up. I needed the shot rising so it would fade more. So if I was up a little higher, it was a much tighter line, and I would actually be more precise on the shot.
Wow, yeah.
And so I was like, all right, apparently I'm throwing it from my knee, and then I dropped to a knee, and then I looked at it, and I'm like, oh, I still can't get to the shot unless I basically start to fall, and as I'm falling, throw the shot and land on my face. And the basket was as far as I could possibly throw from me.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm still not, like, I'm committed to it. Like, I'm not changing my mind at this point. I'm like, I'm going to throw it, and I'm going to make it. And then I threw the shot, and the second I let go, like, right out of my hand, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I just did it.
Yeah.
Because, you know your shots.
Yeah.
The second I let go, I was like,
I've done that.
holy cow, I just did it. This was like just starting to fly there. There's a great interview with Simon where he said that, there's actually a documentary coming out, and on the documentary, he said when I dropped to my knee, he said his thought was, well, I've got this hole won. If he makes this shot, it will be the best shot I've ever seen.
Wow.
That's a nice little compliment, right?
Yeah, from Simon.
And then he said he saw the shot, it kept rising, and he's like, what is going on?
He's just shattered watching it. Just perfectly flexing out.
Yeah, and it was perfect. It landed right next to the basket.
And first birdie on the hole, most unlikely shot to go through, but that's incredible.
It was perfect. It was great. Wow. Well, the thing is, I've made hard big shots before, but they almost won't exist when the people that saw them are gone. When I'm gone, they won't exist.
Yeah.
But this one will exist.
You touched on a few things there that I'd love to touch if you have the time.
Yeah, of course.
But you mentioned before that you do teaching with special needs and helping that community as well. And then I believe you did something quite special with the prize money. You said there's all these skins on the line, there's this prize money from the skins match. Tell us about that.
So what happened is I have not played for prize money for the last 2 years. Right. All my prize money I donate all my prize money to special needs organizations. In fact, I'm about to name, even just at the Aussie Championships, all my prize money is going to go to a local autism organization.
Amazing.
I haven't actually chosen it yet. I'm going to figure it out tonight and announce it. So it might not be autism. It could be Down syndrome. But it's going to be. Yeah, I don't play for money. I'm an amateur, right?
Yeah.
I told the Dave, I said, at the skins match, I said, I'm going to donate all my skins money to a local autism organization. And he said, that's fine. And then what's funny was maybe a month before the event, Dave says, hey, we're doing this crowdfunding thing to raise a bunch of money, which is the bonus money for winning the whole thing. And I said, cool, I'll donate that to the autism organization. And he goes, like, Dave McCormick is like, he's been friends of mine for like 30 years. He's like, Scott, stop it. He goes, you need to make a living. He says, promise me if you win the skins match that you'll at least keep the bonus money. And I said, fine, Dave. I didn't really expect to win, to be honest. So the skins money was $5,500, which got donated to an autism organization.
Yeah.
So I gave away all my skins money.
Yeah.
I had an anonymous donor match the money, so I actually got to write or PayPal $11,000 to an autism organization. But when I made that shot, when I made the putt, Dave McCormick walks up to me. First thing he says to me, he goes, Scott, promise me you're keeping that money. So Dave has known me to sleep in my car in rest areas at tournaments.
Right. Yeah.
So he's not not supportive of the special needs. He's just.
He wants you to look after yourself too.
He wants me to look after him because he knows just me. Like I hate money. I like making a lot of money. I don't like having money. Kind of sounds weird.
Yeah, and you teach people with special needs as well, which sounds like that's like a real passion for you too. It's really cool.
Yeah, if I could make a living teaching people with special needs, I wouldn't teach any of you. I wouldn't teach any of the pro players. I'm sorry, y'all aren't as much fun as kids with Down syndrome.
Totally fair.
No offense, the special needs communities. No, I love the challenge of I call it adaptive disc golf.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different. If there's intellectual, developmental, or physical disabilities, every person is different. There's not a formula for teaching, and I find that fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because what can you do? What are you capable of doing, physically or mentally? And then figuring out how I can translate so you can do the best you can do. There's a video of this kid, Jay, I posted. You see the one with the kid with the two fingers?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so he's this kid. He came out to one of my special needs events. Actually, it was special needs. This was at a retirement community because I work with everybody, right? As long as it's anybody outside the norm, but it's open to everybody. So his dad brought him out, and he's, he was like 10, maybe he was 10 or 11 years old, 12 years old, but he had only two fingers on each hand. Those were his hands. And so he couldn't grip a disc in a normal way. And he couldn't throw very far. And I saw him throw, and I said, perfect. I go, after the class, I wanted to spend some time with you. And we sat down, I worked at it, and I said, okay, look, show me, how much these bend. And then how much your wrist can do, and what can he do? And he showed me what he was physically capable of. And I said, we can get you throwing. So we got him to throw with a certain way. I got him to use his wrist the right direction because he wasn't he knew how to throw, but he just wasn't throwing right for his hands. And then we had him throw. Well, his dad sent a video of him throwing like a month later after I showed him, and he parked like a 100-meter hole. He parks a 100-meter hole.
He was using his two hands together.
Yeah, using two hands together.
Yeah.
But it's like he could be a competitive player. The thing about disc golf is because there's different divisions, it means whatever level he gets to, he will be able to compete with people at his level, which means if he has a good day, he can win.
Yeah.
That's cool, right? But here's what's cool. So I posted a video of him. This kid in British Columbia named Carver Whitford reaches out to me. Carver has the same thing on his hands.
Wow, yeah.
Carver has won pro tournaments.
Really?
He's like a 950 or 960 rated player. He's a kid, too. He's not like an adult. He's a kid.
Wow.
And the way he throws is he is able to grip the disc. Is a little different than Jay. So he's able to grip the disc and throw it with one hand. But that's his hands, and he is like he could be on the Pro Tour in a few years.
Wow.
And so he reaches out to me because he wants to contact Jay to make a connection to Jay.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how cool is that, right?
Amazing, yeah. It just shows that, more things are possible than what people even realize, and you're helping to bring that into that way.
And then for my completely selfish reasons, I enjoyed working with Jay because this is different to me. Let's figure it out. Like, it's fun. It's like, it's adaptive. But like, as a teacher, it's not cookie cutter. It's like, all right, you're unique. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be really fun with you, and then he just rips that. Like this video of him throwing is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Any kid his age throwing 100 meters is impressive.
Yeah, let alone the abilities that he has.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, so cool. If there's just maybe one final thing that I can ask about, I know you've been very generous with your time.
No, you're fine. I love this.
But you've written a book as well. Growing Up Disc Golf, if I got it correct.
Yep.
So can you tell us a little bit about the book and kind of what inspired that as well, if that's okay?
Yeah, for sure. So it's Growing Up Disc Golf because when I was 7 years old, the sport was brand new, and I started playing.
On the first ever course, yeah.
First ever course, and I retired around 2001 when I was like 31, 32. And so I basically, for all intents and purposes, if you know, I don't remember anything from before I was 7 years old. So basically my first 25 years of life all involved disc golf. So I grew up with the sport, side by side with the sport. So I wrote my autobiography, and it's my autobiography, but it's also a history of the sport evolving. But it's the history of the sport through my eyes. So it's not like names and dates, and I don't get into a lot of historical facts as much. I made sure my facts were correct.
Yeah.
But it's not a disc golf history book. It's what it's like to have lived the history.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and all the technological changes and the course changes and the tournament changes and the culture changes. Like I lived through all of it. So that's what the book. So the book's about me, but it's not just about me. It's about this sport. Like, I tell the story of Glenn Whitlock, the first player to tour, but the story is told from the perspective of, we heard about this guy touring.
Right. Yeah.
There's some Canadian guy playing disc golf back then, frisbee golf for a living. What do you mean? You can't play frisbee golf for a living. Well, this Canadian dude is doing it. Well, how's he doing it? Well, he's hitchhiking from tournament to tournament. Okay, that makes sense because first place was like $150 and third place was $40 and it cost $25 to enter. So hitchhiking, that makes sense. The story is about hearing about him, and then I also tell his story as well, things like that.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good read.
I enjoy it.
Fully recommend going there. Yeah, as well. So you've got disc golf written on your knuckles as well. You can show the camera you've got that. So obviously, disc golf. You said you've grown up with it. It's meant a lot to you.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's given me the life I have.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention or talk about too. So you said 2001 was it? You kind of stopped playing in 2001, but then especially just recently joining back on the Pro Tour because spoilers, but old enough to play in Masters divisions. But jumping back on the Pro Tour.
Old enough to play in MP50 divisions.
Okay, so we got a bit of a hint there as well. Yeah, what I guess gave you the itch to get back into playing MPO this year?
So I actually came back in 2014, and I was playing MP40 and MP50 tournaments. Traveled for a few years doing that. Took a few years off to see my daughter off to college.
Yeah. And
then went back and was traveling for a couple years before I went on the Pro Tour this year. And in 2 years playing MP40 and MP50, some open tournaments, but mostly MP40, I won exactly 70% of my tournaments.
It's a pretty high win percentage.
It is. It's a high win percentage, and it's not that it's not fun, and it's not that the players aren't good, but that's not that exciting. That's just kind of just showing up and playing, and I'm donating my prize money anyway, so I was kind of just playing disc golf for fun. I wasn't practicing, I wasn't training, I was just out, I was teaching, I was focusing on teaching. And then last year at the Dynamic Discs Open, I just happened to be in the area, and so I played the event out there, and that was the first Disc Golf Pro Tour event I'd been to. And that's when I saw firsthand what the sport had become. It had become the thing that we had dreamed of, like for years, not for years, for decades.
What were some of those things you saw, some of the changes?
Well, just the courses, how well so in Emporia, Kansas, it's the best disc golf city in the world, hands down. I don't, you can't even make a case for another city being a better disc golf city. Like it would be impossible. You go to a tournament there, and virtually every single business in town has welcome disc golfers on their signs.
Wow.
Like every hotel sets up baskets in the backyard. Restaurants have baskets out front. There's courses on there in every single park. Nobody in town isn't aware that there's a tournament going on, and everybody in town knows that this tournament brings millions of dollars in revenue to the town. They embrace it, like no other place. So watching that would be like, I think if PGA tournament or a PGA tournament or a NASCAR event or if Wimbledon, that week in Wimbledon, like the town, like the city becomes centered around the event. People coming in from all over the world to watch. And then the courses and the galleries and the media and the level of play and the prize money and the coverage and I mean just everything about it was just it was just what it was supposed to be. And I was so excited to see it because this is like my sport. My sport had grown to this. And so like the weirdest thing happened was at the end of the tournament, I'm watching the finals. I'm watching. I think Paul won, but Ricky made this great putt for par in 17 or 15 actually. Like it was just exciting, like to watch the whole thing, and then next thing you know, within minutes of Paul winning, everybody got in their RVs and left, and I felt abandoned. Like I had this feeling like y'all forgot me, like you left me behind.
Like the players.
I'm supposed to be there.
Right.
And even if I'm not one of the top players, like I'm good enough to be there.
For sure.
And so I made the decision right then. I said, I'm going to go on the Disc Golf Pro Tour next year.
Amazing.
Like there's no way I'm not going to get to participate in this. At the end of the season, when I look back, I have been very close to an average touring player. 60% of my 60 or 70% of the tournaments I cashed at. So 60% of the time I'm in the top 40%. That kind of puts me averaging middle of the pack, which is not where I want to be. But certainly middle of the pack belongs. By definition,
for sure.
You belong. You're average. You know? I think I can keep that level in 3 years. In 2025 I'll be back for the Pro Tour.
Okay. You've heard it here first. He's going to be back for 2025.
Yeah, and I plan on winning in 2025. I'll be. Oh, I don't want to say my age. I'll be older.
That's for sure. That's 100% fact right there.
Yes, that is. What's the Mitch Hedberg line? You want to see a picture of me when I was younger? Every picture of you is when you were younger.
I heard a fact of right now is the oldest you've ever been.
No way. Did you know that?
News to me.
Did you know that 50% of people out there are of below average intelligence?
I'm gonna be one of those people.
Are we going to get into this?
We certainly could.
Can I make a quick plug before?
Yeah, go for it.
No, for sure. Yeah. So I just want to, because I know people will be, at the end of it they're going to tune out and not listen to the plug. But so I two couple things. I have a 6-month online class called Become a Complete Disc Golfer. That is taking sign-ups now. It's a 6-month class. It's like I've been doing this for the last half a year now. It's going fantastic. It's not just like you watch videos and then throw 25 of this, 50 of that. It's multiple live classes each month. If you miss the classes, it's not a big deal because there's constant interaction. You're going to be continually through the class posting form reviews as we work on different skills and you're doing things. I have trainers in the class, unlimited number of times you're shooting videos and interacting. It's a very interactive process. But that's available at scottstokely.net. And if you're in the U.S., I just announced that there are seminars, my full-day Stokely Method Disc Golf seminars are happening all over the U.S. over the next 12 months with Disc Golf Pro Tour touring pros Philip Bartholomew and Jonathan Nicholson are teaching the classes. So go to scottstokely.net to sign up. All of my classes, like everything I do, always, like 100% of the time sells out. So if you're interested in doing these,
get in quick.
Get it, because once the word's out, they will sell out for sure.
Amazing. Yeah, great to get that in there. We'll link everything below as well. I'll get the links to the website.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
I'll put that in the description. I guess final question, how are you feeling going into the tournament this weekend? What do you think of the course?
I feel great.
Today?
It's fun. It's fun. You got to get your birdies out here. Like you got to shoot. I mean, I see Drew Gibson shooting in 3 rounds. He's probably going to shoot 36 under.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Would be my guess. So I think that's going to be the score you have to shoot to be competitive. 36 at least under.
Wow. Yeah. Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
I mean, I'll be supporting. I'll have my round and then come watch the league cards. But thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Hopefully everyone's gained some insight or some inspiration. And yeah, very generous with your time. So much appreciated. And as I say in Australia,
don't tell a furphy. Go get a taco. Taco.
Oh, Tucker. Yeah, get Tucker. Yeah.
Yeah.
I threw on the spot there. I was thinking what we were going to come up with, but that's all, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks, guys.